Hi, I'm Paul Salmon, I'm a psychic medium. My guest today is another fellow medium and a friend of eternal spirit, Rebecca Sawyer. Hi Rebecca.
Hi Paul, how are you doing?
I'm okay, but how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, thanks for the invite.
That's
It's been a
right.
while since we've seen each other, so it's just nice to come up and say
Well,
hi.
I said the friend of eternal spirit because how long ago was it you came on here?
Last time I was here must be, what, a couple of years ago?
Must be,
Did
mustn't
some
it?
filming, yeah.
Doesn't seem like it. But
You're blinking a year ago.
I know, but you must have been up to quite a bit. What have you been up to?
It's been a really busy couple of years. Work, the mediumship work's really busy, which is great. Studying's been really good because I actually am a great believer in you never stop studying, and I'm just really scratching the surface.
Now, when you say studying, what type of studying did you do?
Well, I've been really lucky, fortuitous or led or guided, whatever you want to call it, and I've had some of the best tutors in the world. I have still got the best tutors in the world, and they really push their students' mediumship. And I study at the Arthur Finney College, and I know that's a blatant plug, but it is
No, plug away.
It's for anyone who wants to develop, and it's not a million miles from here.
But I've been there myself. I've done a couple of courses.
And how amazing is it?
And it sort of changed my life.
It does, yeah. It's life change. I just done a week there with. I've got a mentor, a guy called Eamon Downey, and just done a week there with him. And it's especially when you see people there for the first time and they're going around like starry-eyed, like slightly out of it, because it is just this incredible place with this incredible energy. And as I said, some of the best tutors in the world teach there, and it really is. And it's and unfortunately, I've got a couple other places I'd go to go on workshops, and that's the thing. Is you never stop learning. You know yourself. We're just scratching the surface.
So I was going to say, even though you're a fully fledged medium, you're still developing yourself.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, you never. It's for me. I am just scratching the surface, and I think in any profession, and if we look at our work as a profession, or being a practitioner, working with the energy and the energetic consciousness that we do. You can't ever stop learning. You can't.
So let's get back to the beginning, if you like.
Sure.
How did this all develop for you? When did you notice your mediumship kicking in?
What I found with myself is you'll hear a lot of mediums say that they saw spirit from a very young age, and they spoke to dead people from a very young age. I wanted to talk to dead people when I was growing up. I had this urge, but. All I really wanted to do growing up was be a mermaid. So that took most of my days, and I think I've got an amazing tutor called Mavis Batilia, and she's the matriarch.
Is she actually your tutor?
Yeah, I know Mavis really well, and she's been a guiding force in my mediumship for quite a good few years now.
Yeah.
And she once said in a lecture that we come here knowing we're going to be mediums, but being trained from day one as a medium doesn't actually mean just doing the mediumship. It means life experiences, because any medium is empathic, and any medium that goes through a tough life makes them more empathic on a sensual level. And I work clairsentiently, so the more experience I've had makes me more empathic when I'm working. And Mavis said, if you from day one they're training you, and there's a genre. Most mediums were quite lonely growing up. Most live in a bit of a dream world growing up, and there are certain similarities that run through mediums' lives, and it's almost like it's getting us ready for the path. And it's not just my Eamon Downey, who's my mentor, my main mentor, and I've cast Mavis as a mentor as well. But he said 95% of mediumship is working on your own soul, because if you're going to connect with spirit, you've got to know yourself, and you've got to know where you've been and the pains you've gone through, and then and only then, when you've reached that place, can you then get out of the way and let spirit work with you in a totally efficient way. That's my view. So I work on the principle of getting out of the way and just giving spirit the voice they want.
work through you and and your experiences to pass on to.
Well, how I work, I always make a joke when I'm working, if I'm demming or doing a show, I always make a joke saying, I don't see spirit, I'm not clairvoyant. When I was first developing, we all want to be clairvoyant because that's the way you think you should work. You have to see them, describe them. But if I saw a spirit standing in front of me, Paul, frankly, I'm rushing to the toilet.
Really?
Oh yeah, I can count on the fingers of one hand how many times I've actually seen spirit physically. And even then, I've never seen a full manifestation. Yeah. But what I've learned is, from the clairsentient point of view, when someone's dad comes through or someone's mum comes through, we don't remember, well, I don't remember how tall my dad was. I think my dad was 5'10" or 5'8", but I don't really remember. And if you describe your nan as having grey hair and being old, it might be accurate, but when you go to someone, I know your dad brought home pie and mash every Saturday morning, and I know your dad took you to football to watch Millwall, or whatever it might be, and suddenly they go, that's my dad. That's the feeling.
Right, so for those who are watching us now and don't know what clairsentient is and that's the way you work, can you just tell us what it is?
Absolutely. The clairsentience is the feeling.
Just the
clairsentience is knowing. And how I work as a medium is I basically get my brain, my thinking brain, quiet, at peace, in the silence. I get my emotions just quiet, get my physical body quiet, and I just then trust totally once I build up. And when we start talking about the power, we all have a soul power. We build up our own soul power, and I blend that with the spirit world. And then I just trust whatever I'm feeling, whatever comes out of my mouth, is going to be there. Because what it does, the more the medium can get out of the way of what the spirit wants to share with their loved one, the better the connection. So I try not to edit it. I try not to get involved. Sometimes you go, oh, did I understand that bit? But usually, and I totally believe that when a spirit comes through, they know what they want to say to their loved one, how they want to validate themselves, so that person knows without doubt that is their dad. And the more the medium get out of the way, that better that sense feeling. Because it's as much about them getting that feeling of that dad being there and going, oh, that's my dad, as it is getting all this. And sometimes you see the most amazing evidential mediumship, but then I sometimes get the feeling, well, where was the feeling?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say I've got your daddy loves you. I don't mean that, but I've seen some amazing evidential medium. We can track it back right back to Gordon Higginson, and it comes out with the most phenomenal evidential mediumship. Names, addresses, phone numbers. I've seen it on And I always remember I was at a church once. I was sitting there, and this churchman came out with this amazing connection. I'll never forget. It was a dad. It was so evidential, but afterwards you could see them all going, well, yeah, but it was dad. It was almost like, what did dad want to share with his daughter? And that's and what I try and view is as a means I get out of the way and then go, what do they want to share with their loved one? And mediumship is healing. It's all about healing. Is it healing relationships? Is it healing some grief? Is it healing a split? It all becomes healing.
So did you work or do you still work in spiritualist churches at all? Is that where you first began?
No, I do very few churches, simply because although I am a member of the SNU, which is the Spiritual National Union, and I go to the Arthur Finney College whenever I can, and I go on a lot of courses with SNU tutors, I found my path hasn't been one of churches, simply because I don't quite fit in with the church genre. I am quite a bit outspoken, and I found my calling is more places, and I quote Mavis again. Mavis said something really wonderful to me, and we was in a group just chatting, and Mavis said, Bex goes into places and works in places I wouldn't even walk into. And I go where people wouldn't go to. I work football clubs, I'll go to pubs, I'll go to clubs where people go there on a charity night who would never think about going to Spiritualist church. But you reach them on a level, and that's what I find I do. And I think I work a couple of churches, and I love the churches, but I'd say 95% of my work is outside of the churches.
What do you mean the church genre? What do you mean?
Or I mean, if you work for the SNU, then they have and quite rightly so, they have code of conduct for their qualified demonstrators, mediums and tutors. And for example, I will go and work in a pub where there's alcohol. If you're an SNU demonstrator, you can't work where there's alcohol being served. Quite rightly, but I do that because I go to people's homes where they're drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't let anyone drink to excess, but I'm reaching them. And things like dress code. I mean, if I'm going to someone's house, I don't always get dressed up. Today, I've come to see you're my friend, and it's lovely to interview you, but it's come to see you and catch up.
Yeah.
It's cold outside. I'm not getting all dressed up. I was like nice and cozy, nice cozy studio.
Bex, you're quite comfy in yourself, aro't you?
I am now.
You are.
And that
Now you are.
yeah, exactly. It's been a long journey. I'm comfortable as Bex, and it's it's not rocket science. I'm a post-op transsexual, but I own it, and I go. Sometimes I want to wear makeup. Sometimes I don't. But I've got a really good girlfriend of mine, and I've known her for a long time, and she's a genetic girlfriend, but she won't leave the house without makeup on. That says more about social conditioning than her wanting to wear makeup. So, but getting back to the point you made about being comfortable in your own skin, yeah, what it is with me is that's the journey, and that's what Aimen's helped me through, and Maeve has helped me through, and it's getting comfortable in your own skin. And I go, I'm just me, and then when you find that soul contentment, you open up to your own soul path, and once you find your own soul path, you can help other people with their soul path.
Finding yourself, if you want to call it that word,
Yeah, I do.
has it made you a better medium as well?
I truly believe from what I've been taught and what I really encompass now and embrace is 95% of mediumship is the medium. And you can go on all the courses you want, and very few will go, what about you? How are you as the medium? How are you doing? Where are you at the moment? How's your soul feeling? Well, if you work on the principle our soul is blending with other souls, well, it's got to be about the medium. And once the medium's okay, and this is a bit of a off the tangent, but it comes to mind. My brother works in America for a company called Southwest Airlines, and their not business plan, I apologize, their company ideal is, their business plan isn't about they don't care about their customers. Business model, got it right in the end. They don't care about their customers. They care about their staff, because they say it's the staff's job to care about the customers. When my staff are okay, our customers are going to be really okay. And that's what I believe is like when the medium's in a place where the medium go, oh, I'm okay. I've let go of the past. The past is just part of that. Our past is just memories and emotions. It's what we do. And it's because if they influence us, we're going to let that influence our readings. But once you're out of the way, totally, they can come through with whatever they want.
So I'm just relating back to myself now.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm getting there.
We're all a work in progress. I get my mood swings like you wouldn't believe. Just ask my other half and she'll tell you, like, I'm a nightmare to live with. But I think that's part of a journey, not just, we all have tough journeys. One has been this, a transsexual, if you like, and a medium, and a mood swing person, up and down and down. But it's owning it. And then what I find is, as a medium, is when you're really transparent, people gravitate towards you because they go, I don't know, but I like you. It's not because they like me, it's just that I've got no hiding place. And if you've got no hiding place, if you've got no agenda with people, and you go, what's what I'm doing? And they go, I get that. And that for me is what it's we represent spirit, and I know you work as a medium as well. And it's not just representing ourselves, it's representing them. And I remember I don't always go in with I'm a little skeptic. It sounds really weird, but I'm a skeptic. So when it comes to guides and angels and stuff, I go, yeah, go on, show me. And I was at Stansted, I was at the Arthurny College, and I was walking around the grounds, and I'm chatting away to spirit, and I'm a petulant child. I will have a right go at them, and they laugh. But I was taught, you'll probably know, as means we always taught to trust what you get, trust, give it all. And I was going, yes, but, and it came to me, and this was inspired, because it was. And they said, shut up. I went, what? Just shut up, Bex. And I went, what? He said, you talk about trust. when we come through you, we are trusting you with everything we are, because all we've got, everything we've got is our soul, and we are trusting you with our soul to represent us properly when we speak to our loved ones. And I went, oh, and you think it's huge. I mean, I believe almost every media in the country, in the world, works with the best intentions. There are a few that don't, and there always will be. But we work representing people's souls, their spirit. And as soon as you take that on board, and anyone who sees me work knows I have the best fun with it. I'm living my dream. I grew up wanting to be a medium. I remember watching Tony Stockwell and Colin Fry on telly going, oh, that's all I want to do, that's all I want to do. And I got really frustrated. And now I'm sort of up doing Deming and loving it. But I never forget what I'm actually doing. And it's very easy as mediums, if you think about it, I'm sure you get it as well, because I'm meeting people. I go to someone's house, or I go to do a show, and I meet people. But I'm meeting people this side of life, and I meet people the other side of life. But I'm just meeting them. So when I go home, when I go home today, or if I meet someone for the first time, they have a memory of Bex. Well, they don't think, well, Bex was 6'2", 6'1". They just remember Bex as being a nice person, or not a nice person. They have a memory of me, a feeling of me. I do that with people on this side of life, and we do that with people on the other side. I go, oh, I like you. I go, oh, you're a Michelle cow. Because not everyone's nice. You know, and I don't do failure. If a nan's horrible, I say, your nan's horrible. But that's how they recognise them. So course, yeah. I go home having met different people. What I feel mediums we can fall in the trap of is going, this is so beautiful, but for them, for the sitter, it's life-changing. For us, it's just what we do. And I live for it, but I'm always humbled, I'm always respectful that nan coming through, just saying hello, or Val can change that granddaughter's life. Yeah. And again, that comes back to the responsibility we have as medium. When we're working as mediums and we get in the power, well, you get out of the power, you get back in the power. And I'm sure you're the same, I mean, they are so, desperate's the wrong word, but they are desperate, and they will work with us to come through any way they can. And it does frustrate me in some ways, the way some of our colleagues will say, it's got to be done, this is this way, and I go, actually, they can work in a pub. I mean, the loudest one I ever did was in a pub in Hornchurch, and I did this charity night.
That's my hometown, Hornchurch.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. It was a pub in Hornchurch, and it was a charity night, and it was mobbed. I don't know, whatever, 100 people say, in one bar. What they didn't tell the woman who organised it was, in the next bar was a disco. But better than that, the only thing separating that bar and my bar, where I was working, was a curtain. I'm shouting the links. I'm shouting the message. Was it a brilliant night? Well, it was as best it could be, but I'm linking with spirit, and they come through, and it was a crazy night.
Well, I was going to ask you. You said you work in charity nights, football clubs. Can you discipline yourself to switch off and? Well, you can do it. You just said you can.
Yeah, I mean,
noise and people.
Yeah, it's the only time I get a bit fractious is like if I'm doing a charity night and they don't, and I say to them now, because I've learned, make sure the bar's shut while I'm working. Not because I care if someone buys a drink, but it's distracting when people are walking across to the bar, especially when I'm working with someone, and they suddenly, someone gets up and walks right across me, and you kind of, but no, you can work. I actually truly believe they're connected with us anywhere. Well, within reason. I mean, because it's if someone's dad wants to say hello, well, they'll do it anywhere.
But I read quite a bit that humour is important to you when you're working, and when you have a good laugh with the.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, when I'm working, I always say to people, I try and work with common sense. What would when I cross over and I come back? I know my loved ones will miss me. That's hopefully, better do they? But and you can't change what they miss you. But what do we want to do? If someone's got a sense of humour, they'll come to a sense of humour. I love what I do and I share it. I would go home, because how I work, I always say to people, if I'm doing a group, small group, big group, show, whatever, you can't all get a reading. If you've come for a reading, go home now. What I want you to do is feel it. My job is for you to go home going, this is normal. You know, it's normal to miss the people you love, but it's normal that they're around us. And it's normal that we go, I feel this. And even if someone's going to say, I felt that spirit and I feel something, I feel something. That's what that's about. And that when I work, a lot of mediums go direct. I don't, because I say that if I go direct, everyone's just going to switch off. I want you all to be part of every single connection. I want to feel. And so it is laughing and joking. And yes, I do. Of course, you know, I have so much fun with it, and I want people to have fun with it and go, yeah, I might be grieving so much that I miss my mum. But you know what? I think it's okay to laugh. It's okay to enjoy it. And then when everyone gets embraced in the emotion and the feelings, then if something's a bit emotional, they say it's okay to cry. And my little heading, if you like, when I do a show, I always say it's not just the message, it's the feeling, and it is that, because what are we if it's not feelings? We're not physical. This is just a physical manifestation for the short time we're here. It's what we have inside that's important. And that gets a bit deep, a bit gushy, but that's really what it's about.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we're working with. We're not working with someone's physical body. We're working with them and who are they. And I had a discussion with a skeptic who said, well, if you got it right every time, you'd get the name and address and age. And I went, yeah, it was a stranger. I said, but when your dad rings you up, what does your dad say? Your dad doesn't go, hello, this is Mr. John Smith and I live at 46 Eccleston Gardens and my phone number is, and he'll go, oh, darling, it's your dad. And then what would dad want to say? He's got to validate it. He's go, hello, darling, it's your dad. I'm so glad I stayed here long enough for your wedding, as an example. And I know I passed 3 weeks afterwards. So that daughter, what would she rather hear? That or dad's name, address, what he did for a living? I'm not saying that won't come out, but what would validate it most for her? That, and who knows that? Dad knows that. Yeah. And the more, again, it comes back to what we're talking about, the more the medium gets out of it, I say, what do you want to say? I don't mean your fluffy stuff. I don't mean I've got a nan, might be your mum, or it could be your great aunt, but I think she's your nan, but she's got grey hair and she's old and she died. Don't mean that, because that's fluffy. And that might all be true, but that could be anyone's nan. It's got to be a personal validation that is unique to the person receiving the message. Does that make sense? Yeah,
it does. And you know, going back to the beginning, when you said it's all about learning, I've learned quite a bit today. You know,
cool.
Thanks for that.
No, you're welcome.
Before we go, what's the future hold for you? I know we're not fortune tellers, but where do you see where are you headed next?
Do you know what? I will enjoy. I personally believe in like just doing one thing. My passion is my mediumship. My passion. I love doing my one-to-ones, but my passion is doing demonstrations and shows because I like reaching people. So that's the way it's going, and it's like, for me, I'm quite booked up, and they'll go that way, and it becomes like that rolling snowball that becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's the way it's going. I think it's organic. It sounds a bit of a cliche answer, but it's just rolling.
Yeah.
And
go with the flow.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think I believe there's nothing wrong in controlling it. I believe what I want to do is, my personal opinion is, I want to make an income from mediumship. But it's got to be done the right way. It's got to be done with the right integrity and the right intention. And as long as you hold on to that, it's okay. And that's what I want to do. It's just taking it out. And it's reaching people. What I love is reaching people. It's the biggest challenge because it's you can work at a Spiritualist church where there's a congregation full of people who are very spiritual. They might come and test your mediumship, and they go, let's see if this medium's any good this week. But they have a knowledge of spirit, or they have a belief in spirit. But if you go and look at charity night, there's 150 people, and you've got people drag their boyfriends, drag their rather watching football. What I love is the challenge. You've not only got to win them over as a person, you've got to say to them, look, this is what spiritualism is about, this is what mediumship is about. And if they go home going, or they come saying, how does that work? And you start a questioning. I think it's maybe opening someone's doorway to their own path. That's a buzz I really enjoy. And I think we're all out an ego. As long as it's not egotistical, my buzz is when I'm in front of a load of people and I've done a charity night. Yes, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, we might have raised a load of money, but if someone comes up to me and goes, I hadn't thought of it like that. Or it happens to me sometimes down to the other week, I was doing a pub in Dagenham, and these 3 guys were dragged along, and they got some lovely stuff, and they come away with me, and I'll never forget this bloke went, "It's real, isn't it?" I went, "Yeah, it's real." His life path, his life perspective's changed. And my ego goes, "Yeah, I helped him that," but really, it was his. I remember it was his granddad, and that's what I like. That's why I think it's going for me.
I'm sure it will. And well, Bex, thanks for being my guest.
Oh.
The time has absolutely flown.
Paul, I just chat for hours. So, is it half an hour already? I'll just chat for hours.
But no, it's good. We've learned a lot. And if you'd like to know more about Bex, get in touch with me at Eternal Spirit and see what we can do. I do group nights. I do shows around. So yeah, they can find me on my Facebook page or check your website.
Yeah, bexmedium.com.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Bex.
Oh, Paul, absolute pleasure as always.
Come again. We'll have another chat.
Will do, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Cheerio.